Welcome to my channel again. The last time we get the user balance and we get the address. Now let's go to create a first task. We are going to create new task. Remember, on our controller, then we have this method. Now this is a private method. The create task will be a public method. Let's call it create task. In order to create task, we need to get the data from the form, which is this bind value. This value, we need this value on the controller. So in order to get the value, we have to create a store, which is, we'll call it this dot task form equals to writable. This one will be public, so that we can even update on the UI. Then it means you can set it or you can update it on the UI. With this add form, you can go to the UI. Here on the UI, we can call the add form the task form. You can restructure the task form. Remember, this one is the store, so you can subscribe it here on the bind value. If we go to the bind value, we go to bind this store. So if you bind this store, whatever you type on the edit form, it will be binded on the store. So if you go back, we go back to our task controller. Now we have this form. How do we get this one here on the add task? On the writable, on the Svelte stores, we have a get. This get, it's used to subscribe to a store on a here on JavaScript, because you can't use a $sign here. Then in order to get a form, you use the get. Then we call the name of the store, which is this dot task form. Then if let task equals, so because this one here it's an empty string, this form will be like a string. If it's an object, it will be an object, but because now we only have one input, that's why we need this form. Then we have to call the smart contract, which is this dot ethers provider dot task contract dot add. On the add, we need to add the string of task, which is this string. And this one it will be a transaction. Why a transaction? This one, it's a transaction which will go to the blockchain. Then the blockchain will send us back a response to say that our transaction is received. Let me console that transaction, so you can see. On this transaction, we have to wait for this transaction to check if the transaction was processed or not. So we have to get the response, which is first await this transaction dot wait. This transaction dot wait is to wait for the blockchain to write. Then if it's success, it will send us, let me log again, the response. So what happened here, you send the transaction on the blockchain, then the blockchain will say, okay, I received the transaction, this is the hash for that transaction. But here we have to wait for the blockchain to write, because here you have to pay gas fees to check if the there is enough gas fees so that the transaction will went through, so that we'll get the response. But if we don't have another gas fee or some error occurred on the back end, that this transaction will reject, then you get the error or the error message. So after that, if everything went well, we have to update our store, so that this store to be an empty string. To clear the form, then we have to set. Then on the set, we just put an empty string. Then you have to put this one on the try catch, because something can happen on the blockchain, so that you have to know if there is error. You can catch those error. For now, I will log the error. So now we have to call this method on the front end. So we go to the front end, we go here on the add form, we have the on submit. This on submit, we go to on submit, we check on submit, it does nothing, then it will just prevent our default, so that it won't reload. Then we call the task controller here. Then on the task controller, we have to create task. Then we call the create task. We don't have to pass any parameters on, because everything is handled by the controller. That's why I like this controller, because everything is handled here on the controller, so it will get the form. So let's go and test it on the UI. But in order to make sure that everything is going as expected, we have to do the console. We have to check the console. Clear the console. Then here I have to add first task. Then if I click the button, it will have to prompt me on the wallet. You see now it's prompting me, so that it will give me so that I can add. Then let's wait. You see now it's prompting me to approve for that transaction, so that if I click approve the transaction, you see that's the first hash that we have received. Then this one is the approve, so that the transaction is added on the blockchain. So here you can see that now we can create the transaction. So now let's go to our requirements. Then we can create a new task. Then the next time we are going to get all the users task. For now we have added one task. Let's go add another task, and just so that we can have like more task, enough task. Let's say second task. Then if I go, it will just prompt me again that I have to. You see now it's prompting me, so that I can approve the transaction. If I approve the transaction, here is like the blockchain confirmed that it received the transaction. Then it approves that now the transaction is was successful. So now we have two transactions. So now on the next video, we're going to get all the tasks. Uh, Thank you, and please subscribe and like my video. Thank you.